This is a breaking news alert. President Biden has just announced he will not be seeking re-election. He just posted a letter where he states that he will serve out the remainder of his term as president of the United States and will not be seeking re-election. This comes after a pressure campaign by the media, by some in the Democratic Party, and by Democratic donors. Let me read for you the letter that President Biden just posted moments ago. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today, what I have always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. Signed, President Joe Biden. This comes after historical pieces of legislation were passed under the Biden administration, from the Infrastructure Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the PACT Act, the CHIPS Act, where America's GDP is leading all G7 nations, where the Affordable Care Act, access to health care, has been expanded to millions of Americans, where President Biden has capped the cost of insulin to $35, where President Biden has engaged in efforts to forgive student loan debt, where President Biden has built the NATO alliance stronger than ever, just in the past few weeks, hosting the 75th anniversary of NATO, welcoming 2 new members. The NATO alliance has never been stronger. The first time in American history we are energy independent. While President Biden has focused on climate change, he's also focused as well and made sure that America would be energy independent. More drilling right now than ever before. Also, border crossings have been down lately, even though Donald Trump stopped and prevented a bipartisan border bill from passing. July 21st, 2024 is going to be one of those days where we all remember where we were when President Biden made this announcement. You had those in his party, you had those in the media, you had donors who had been every single day harping on this. There's nonstop coverage, 24 hours to try to force this. We had Professor Lichtman on, who described this kind of self-fulfilling or self-defeating prophecy of Democrats bringing down President Biden's poll numbers, and ultimately President Biden deciding moments ago that he would not be seeking re-election. As of now, we have no other details, no other data. That is the report as of now. We'll be back with more breaking news as we learn it here on the MeidasTouch network. Hit subscribe. It's going to be important that we keep giving you updates today and over the coming days. And I want to leave you with this message. Do not lose faith in our democracy. I know how sad, I know how difficult today is going to be in your lives. Do not lose faith in our democracy. If that means spending some time with your family today, or taking a long walk, or reading a book, or going to the movie, or doing something that will help your kind of mental health wellness for today. It's okay to step out, but let's come back and let's be prepared to fight for our democracy and for future generations. Thank you for watching.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.